In Hollywood, stars are made, not born.
There is a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding about the world of Hollywood and celebrity. It's understandable because you know it's a world full of lies, manipulation, and deception. But the problem is, there's not a lot of accurate information about how they are lying, manipulating, and deceiving you. There's a lot of conjecture and conspiracy theories, but I get it. It's hard to follow and keep track of all the lies, manipulation, and deception while trying to connect the thread, especially if you haven't studied or worked in the entertainment industry. Because I have, let me burst Hollywood's bubble for you.
The star system, Hollywood's biggest and most destructive contribution to society, where they take a nobody and turn them into a somebody who generates them money, and a lot of it, regardless if their influence was positive to society or not. Its origins began when the founding fathers of Hollywood saw the attention their talent was getting from audiences. They quickly responded by partnering up with fan magazines like Photoplay, who were looking to capitalize off of the growing industry. You see, the film industry was saturated with Nickelodeonaires, and they were all competing for people's nickels and dimes on their quest to join the new money Americans from the Gilded Age. To keep the nickels and dimes pouring in, they ventured into making their own films. At first, actors and actresses were kept anonymous to keep their costs low. But people were desperate to know who these mystery men and women were. Some weren't willing to engage with their customers, and some were. Those that did were the ones who founded Hollywood, while the rest faded into obscurity. The way they would farm this engagement was through fabricating stories about their talent and seeding them in fan magazines to promote their films and Nickelodeons. This unholy matrimony placed actors and actresses at the center of the film industry, where they would become the star and everything would revolve around them. In the beginning, they would use or poach actors and actresses that had popularity and recognition. When they turned out to be more than they bargained for, they opted to create their own stars, where they could have absolute control over their name, image, and likeness, not just ownership of their work. By doing this, it gave them all the leverage and authority. All they needed was a diamond in the rough.
That's him! That's the car we've been waiting for!
Let's have the guards extend him an invitation to the palace, shall we?
Swell.
And they would take care of the rest. No matter how superficially it sounds, you have to look good on camera. It doesn't necessarily matter how you look or act in person. You could be the most attractive person in the world or have the greatest personality, but if it doesn't translate on camera, it's irrelevant. If you pass the screen test, next comes the glow up, where your looks are adjusted through styling, makeup, cosmetic procedures, dieting, and whatever else they want you to change about you to make you fit into the image they created for you. Before they put you in front of anybody, they have to introduce you to your new identity and train you to become whomever they want you to be, starting with a new name.
The only Paolo can take this and give you.
Your name will be Hathor Clove. You're naming me after a spice? It's after the Egyptian goddess, but with a warm spiciness. It's exotic, but not too exotic. I'm not even Egyptian. We want you to be ambiguous. It's not about your race, but what you will symbolize. Love, beauty, music, dance, fertility, and joy. Women and men will worship you. Yeah, I don't know if I want people worshiping me. It's not about what you want. It's about what will make us money. Action. I'm Hathor Clove. You get a fabricated backstory. You told us about your backstory, but we made a few adjustments to spice it up. Is my name not spicy enough for you? It was bland. Your parents were successful jazz musicians in their country and escaped to America when a war broke out. They had to leave everything behind, including their instruments, to save you. When they came to America, they had to abandon their music and start from the ground up to support their family. You came to Hollywood to continue their legacy, hoping one day you can all play on stage together. You can't be serious. That's not true. You said they could play instruments. Yeah, but listen, do you want the contract or not? My parents were successful jazz musicians. After they've curated your new identity and crafted you into a new person, they will plug you into their algorithm and start seeding you to the masses. So what are you going to do with all of this in the pictures we took? We're going to give it to the press to put your name out. But I didn't do anything. We're planting seeds, so when they see you, they'll start to recognize you. It's called pattern recognition. Yeah, I don't think that means what you think it means. Get ready for your interview, and remember, from now on you are Hather Clove, the child of jazz immigrants from a war-torn country. Talent was the exception, not the rule. If they had it, great. If they didn't, that's where Hollywood magic kicks in. Ready? Yes, action.
Baby, you came in loud with that cheap cologne. Told me.
What now? That's not my voice. Your voice wasn't what we were looking for. Are you saying I can't sing? You can sing, just not like what we want Hather Clove to sing like. That's what I call Hollywood magic, where they make stars look more talented than they are, whether it's training them, using only the best takes, dubbing their voices, or giving them artistic credits they don't deserve.
I actually just won the Songwriter of the Year for ASCAP a couple months ago, which is a huge accomplishment for me, but I was the second woman ever to win that. Out of all of the ASCAP writers, which is ridiculous because there's so many women that are great.
It's all optics to make you believe it's a meritocracy when it isn't. Most of the time, it's manipulation or just straight up artistic theft. Just like Milli Vanilli, somebody else was hired to do the singing for Hather Clove. Hather did not have to sing. She just had to pretend she could. It was never really about selling her voice. It was about selling the image they created for her. Because if vocal ability mattered, Hollywood would have never allowed J-Lo to be a singer. After a character is created for them to play in real life, a character is created for them to play on screen, which isn't drastically different than the one they'll have to play in real life in perpetuity. We need you to be sultry and sensual, but inaccessible. Why do I have to be sultry and sensual? Can't I just pretend to sing for you? Isn't that enough for you? No, you can't just pretend to sing. You have to be Hather Clove, a sultry and sensual jazz goddess. Can I be Hather Clove, the angry jazz goddess? Because that's how I feel right now. And jazz is all about feeling. No, you have to be what we tell you to be. Action. Don't even think about rebelling, because if you do, it's game over. After an image is created, they become a consumable product to be sold to the masses, and there is no going back. The contract was signed, and they own your name, image, and likeness, as well as everything you produce for them. If you don't deliver or cross them, they can also quickly turn you back into a person nobody wants to support. It happens to the best and worst of them. Nobody is immune, and they will destroy anybody that threatens to put an end to the universe they created to enrich themselves and only themselves. After a star is made, a solar system is built with the star at the center. The stars. The light, charisma, and radiant energy sustaining and enriching the pockets of everything orbiting it. But its core is highly volatile and must be heavily contained so it does not scorch and burn all its profits. The press. Positioned closest to the star, the press acts as the bridge between the star and the real world. They filter their rawness into highly controlled, fabricated scripts, gossips, or scandals to broadcast, to make them shine even brighter, to make them more profitable. The fans. Placed close enough to bask in a star's radiating light, beauty, and energy, but placed far away enough so they don't get burned. The studio provides the perfect conditions necessary that filter out and channel a star's energy into the perfect climate necessary for profits to thrive. The theaters, the volatile battleground where a star's light can shine bright, but can fail to generate enough sales to create a storm big enough to sustain profits. The Hollywood moguls. Positioned in between the inner and outer orbits, in a tug of war with their stars, the kings of Hollywood reign supreme as the architects of the system, commanding order and protection over the fragile universe they created. Wall Street. Positioned behind them are the linchpins, controlling the purse and calling the real shots in Hollywood. Hollywood's puppet masters are puppets on their strings, generating profits for them as they sit back passively on the opposite side of the country. The handlers. Rolling their way into Hollywood to cash in, handlers were fixed into their position after proving their youthfulness and uncanny ability to cool the tempers of stars, keep them happy, sober, working, and profitable. The manufactured reality. An artificial paradise engineered by the architects to keep their stars under their control and limit their cut of the profits. A dream world of manufactured wealth, luxury estates, picture-perfect relationships, beauty people could only dream of, public adoration, every want and need fulfilled, entirely contingent upon absolute compliance. The fixers. The unseen shadowy network operating completely in the dark, burying stories, neutralizing internal threats, and erasing legal liabilities before they can shatter the public illusion. A star is put into position, and everything else is put into place to extract as much money as they can before it fades or bursts, setting all of their potential earnings on fire. The founding fathers didn't stop at building a solar system. They built a universe full of them. Star after star would be put into place alongside its celestial bodies, and the brightest stars would grow and star on every film possible. The dimmer stars would fizzle out, never to work in Hollywood again. Solar systems would be created and destroyed if they were no longer generating sales. New ones would take their place. It was a never-ending cycle bound together by the dark matter warping through it. Everything you see is fake, but the world's deluded belief in Hollywood and the fantasy they created keeps it from destroying itself. The moment you stop believing, the system and the universe they built from it self-destructs into nothingness, ceasing to exist. Which should happen, but has yet to fully happen. The star systems created by the founding fathers of Hollywood may have died, but it does not mean the system they created hasn't been reborn and repackaged over and over again. Actors and musicians are not as popular as they once were. But now, Hollywood has shifted their attention to influencers, content creators, and streamers, adapting their methods to create new stars to follow the money. The star system taught them to meet people where they are and bring them where they need them to be, which exposes what makes this system so manipulative. All the founding fathers of Hollywood had to do was convince you to like a person enough to buy their tickets. The films never had to be good or offer you value because they give their money before you see it. The transaction was already made and no return policy existed or still exists. And it's still similar today. They just need you to consume whatever they're selling. It doesn't have to be good or offer you any value. They just need to make you believe it is or it will so you hand over your money. The transaction is made before you get it. And with most things, with the exception of consumer products, as always, it's still non-refundable.